West Virginia versus EPA.
You know, you're here because you need money from us. So halt for the second and wait for the questions and answer the questions.
Well, I answered your question,
No, you
and
didn't.
you didn't like my answer because
did
you
not
don't know what
answer the
Loper Bright is,
question.
because you don't know what the major policies doctrine is,
Chairman,
because you're asking me about Section 202 of the Clean Air Act, and you don't read it. You don't know what it says.
Listen, and what you want to do is to deny. You want
No, I actually read the law. I do my homework.
DeLauro thought she had Zeldin trapped, and then the entire hearing blew up.
This administration, however, is running the playbook on making the problem worse, focusing on policies that are handouts to the fossil fuel companies, like reversing the 2009 greenhouse gas endangerment finding, rolling back fuel emission standards for motor vehicles, and reducing methane leak monitoring requirements. The budget proposal reads like a climate change denier's manifesto. When climate change is flooding our streets, poisoning our air, driving up healthcare and disaster costs, how can the EPA justify abandoning that duty to protect Americans to appease polluters under the false flag of economic growth?
Following the law, Section 202 of the Clean Air Act, where does it say anything about fighting global climate change? Loper Bright, Supreme Court case, you familiar with it?
No, I maybe others are. I'm not, but let me ask.
But that's really important. As a member of Congress, Loper Bright says that we, as an agency, don't have the authority to get creative if Section 202 of the Clean Air Act.
No, but you don't have. Excuse me. You do not have the right to say climate change does not exist, that it's a hoax, and that's where this administration is coming from.
I understand you're upset that you don't know what Loper Bright is. Do you know what the major policies doctrine is?
I'm upset because
you know what the major policies doctrine is.
You know what? Let me just.
You're a member of Congress. You should know.
Well, you have moved from someone who defended the environment to all of a sudden
being very defensive about not knowing the two biggest landmark Supreme Court cases of the last year with regards to your question.
You are very defensive about changing your policy and your positions with regard to the environment.
Okay.
Now, you just tell
me. Do you want me to tell you what the two biggest Supreme Court cases are of the last few years?
This is what I want you
Michigan
to tell
versus
me.
EPA.
Whoa.
West Virginia versus EPA.
You know, you're here because you need money from us. So halt for the second and wait for the questions and answer the questions.
Well, I answered your question,
no, you
and
didn't.
you didn't like my answer because you don't know what Loper Bright is, because you don't know what the major policies doctrine is,
Chairman,
because you're asking me about Section 202 of the Clean Air Act, and you don't read it. You don't know what it says.
Listen, and what you want to do is to deny.
No, I actually read the law. I do my homework.
Really?
You're just somebody who likes to have the microphone on. You know what I have to do?
Valid.
I read the law.
No,
I read the Supreme Court cases.
To this, and I would say
no, what you should do for your constituents is actually read statute.
The budget is at real risk.
Read your Supreme Court.
This is the Appropriations Committee.
Oh,
you come here.
You care about science? Now you're threatening to defund it?
Oh my God! No, you don't fund
because
science.
You don't know what Loper Bright is. Because you don't know what the major policies doctrine is. Your message to our folks at the EPA is that you want to defund us.
I don't have to listen to this BS.
The BS.
Wow.
You think I made up these cases?
Yeah, I think you have made up a whole
I made up Loper Bright.
I
made up West Virginia versus EPA. I made up Michigan versus EPA.
Yes, apparently.
Woe is right. What are you doing? Why are you helping polluters?
I'm not going to go ahead and say that everyone needs to be likable as a person, right? But she's very incredibly unlikable. The fact that she is standing on business, for the most part, with information that she absolutely does not know the totality of, that's like the most counterproductive thing you can possibly do here, okay? If you are wrong, you are wrong. Period. Take accountability for this here. All right, that's it here. If you do not know something, but yet you're attempting to stand on it, if that makes any sense here, because you refuse to believe that the person who you deem as your adversary, your opposition, may know just a little bit more than you at the moment here. And the fact that you're not even acknowledging that is absolutely asinine.
If you ask a question, you have to give the witness an opportunity to respond.
I do not have to have the witness attack me. Not when he's here as a supplicant. You have to give the witness a chance federal resources.
to answer the question.
I've asked a question, I don't have an answer.
Oh, so what, you want me to start over with the last question? What's your question? Do you have a new one?
My question to you is in what is going on in our streets today with regarding flooding, what's going on with our air quality, what is happening with in the Antarctic, how do you abandon what the EPA's duties are to protect Americans? And because, in fact, given the way you have dealt with the with the budget. It is a sop to polluters. You are really, it would appear, I just said what the president claimed in Mar-a-Lago is, you give me $1 billion and I'll make sure that you are made rich. I didn't say that. Your boss, the president of the United States, was clear on that. And that's what this is. That's what is going on here.
Okay.
So you don't have an answer.
No. Let me answer. Oh, please, let me answer your question. Can I answer? Oh, thank you, Chairman.
Right.
So it's interesting. You're saying that we're letting polluters off the hook.
Yeah.
Is that your position? Yeah. Okay. So since January 20th, in the first year of the Trump administration, we sentenced more criminal defendants, 100 compared to the 91 of the last year of the Biden administration.
Oh, God,
we obtained far more in criminal fees and restitution. In the last year of the Biden administration, the number is $57.7 million. In the first year of the Trump administration, it's $561.9 million. We also have obtained far more in criminal forfeiture. So in the last year of the Biden administration, they obtained, get this, $0.1 million. $0.1 million. You know how much we did?
Oh, tell us.
$1.1 billion.
Tell us. How many of those projects did Biden start for you? Okay. Look, I don't go back to Biden. I'm going forward.
Pounds of illegal pesticides.
Guys.
No, you're actually making an accusation that we're letting the polluters off the hook. Pounds of illegal pesticides blocked from entering the U.S. 1.65 million pounds. Previously, it was 0.96 million pounds. This is another one. Cleanup of contaminated soil and water in the last year of the Biden administration, 1.99 million cubic yards. In the first year of the Trump administration, 59.3 million cubic yards. More value of injunctive relief, 6.02 billion. More civil enforcement case conclusions.
Okay.
You want to make the claim that we're just giving up on the work of the Enforcement and Compliance Office.
Glyphosate.
Is that your question? I'd say don't. If your cup was filled with glyphosate, I'm telling you as the administrator of EPA, don't drink it.
Thank you so much for agreeing to what we need to do.
I don't know what the question was. You're holding up a cup saying glyphosate.
You know.
Don't drink it. Don't inject it.
Maybe you should try doing that. Okay, excuse me. Okay, I'm going to move on to a second question, Mr. Chairman.
Oh my God.
Well,
guys,
it wouldn't have been prolonged except that you know it's interesting.
Yeah, we come with facts. We have answers.
Go ahead.
Let them cook, guys. Let them cook.
It really is. They're really so blank arrogant, you know, when they're really making a mockery of what the agencies are all about.
Guys, I have seen a lot of embarrassing moments. I think this is probably top 10 most embarrassing moment in any of these appropriation hearings that I've ever encountered here. The way that she is standing on the fact that she is wrong. All because of one reason here. She hates Trump. That's it here, right? Even though Trump has done more for the environment by default, based off of the facts that were just basically levied upon her, but she refuses to acknowledge these facts because these facts do not specifically adhere to whatever she believes internally. Trump, bad. Everything about him, bad. Everything that he does, terrible, right? This is it. This is all she is. Why is she still in office? There needs to be better limits. Let's just say this here. Okay. I'm not sure what she's actually giving to the United States of America, bro. I'm not. I don't see it. If you know it, help me out in the comments.
You're making a mockery of what the agencies are all about. 40 years, clean water and drinking water state revolving loan funds have provided low-interest loans to eligible recipients for water infrastructure projects. Money is paid back into the revolving loan fund. The state makes new loans to other recipients for high-priority water quality activities. This budget proposes $305 million in total for two revolving funds, an $852 million or 74% cut from the $1.2 billion enacted in 2026. This is under the guise of, quote, encouraging states to take responsibility for local water infrastructure projects, end quote. Quite the encouragement. Overnight, states face massive cuts to their budget, would be forced to make impossible choices to fill the gap. Connecticut would go from receiving an estimated $28.2 million in 2026 to only $3.2 million in 2027, an 89% cut. This approach was roundly rejected in the bipartisan, bicameral 2026 agreement for this bill. According to EPA's own assessments, our drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater systems need at least $1.3 trillion in improvements over the next 20 years, funding that states use for critical purposes. They repair or they upgrade wastewater treatment facilities, well repairs, emergency actions that are needed in the aftermath of natural disasters to make sure residents do not lose access to safe, clean water. Town of Wallingford, Connecticut, use a revolving funds to upgrade their water pollution control facility to help remove phosphorus and put UV disinfection methods in place. Now, easy one. Is it generally more cost-effective to maintain water infrastructure in good standing or wait until it breaks down? For example, a water main rupturing and flooding a community, and then clean up the problem.
It's a huge problem in this country that you have aging water infrastructure. We saw with the Potomac Interceptor.
Mm-hmm. Given that states will not...
It's not even just that infrastructure. It's basically all of our infrastructure. And definitely it is cheaper, without a doubt here, to maintain things than to have to come in and fix something after it's completely gone haywire.
Not be able to plug the budget hole. I don't know if you've taken a look at the budgets of states.
Oh, we studied everything that's in front of us.
Well, I don't know if you studied the state of Connecticut's budget. What is your plan for communities when they inevitably suffer failures in their water systems, which is going to happen?
With all due respect to all of the amazing initiatives that you call congressionally directed spending, and we see firsthand that a lot of the projects that we're administering includes a lot of very good use as members of Congress set out in their desire to have this congressionally directed spending included in appropriations. We don't include that in our proposal. How much you might choose to raid the SRF on congressionally directed spending is a decision that Congress makes as you go through your deliberative process. I'm not saying that, passing judgment on individual projects. No, actually, I'm not. But I'm saying I don't ask for your earmarks for you. That's a process that you all have. You're not going to see that in the president's FY27 budget. You're not going to see congressionally driven set-asides. The SRF fund would be flowing as a revolving fund if it wasn't continuously rated for earmarks and set-asides.
I see.
Well, you're the ranking member of the Appropriations Committee. You should understand that.
Tell me about it. And I introduced community projects a number of years ago.
Right, and I could sit here trashing them, but I'm not. You have a process.
Because members would not, they were designed for a purpose because, let me just tell you, you got an 89% cut to the state revolving loan fund. You can't tell me that 89%.
And I'm helping you with your math.
Is going to community.
Right,
projects.
and I did not ask for your earmarks for you.
Hell no, God knows, listen.
Right, exactly.
We fund, IIJA had huge investments in water projects, CPFs in water infrastructure. We don't raid the state revolving loan fund.
Yes, you do, absolutely.
No, we do not.
100%. That's your congressionally directed spending.
Look at the smug look on her face.
You're not giving that.
Because she 100% knows that what she's saying is a lie here, but she has to say it to kind of maintain face for the most part.
Them out as loans. You're just taking the money out of the SRF and you're giving them to local communities. By the way, I'm not passing judgment on what you choose to say has merit because you're making the ask on behalf of your constituents. But that's exactly what you're doing. You're taking money out of it and you're giving it to a local community. So it's no longer revolving. It's no longer a revolving fund when you take money out for set-asides and earmarks.
I tell you, we were, I think on a bipartisan basis, we were able to deal with this before. It's, in terms of the restoration, and it will be, once again, what the Appropriations Committee does on a bipartisan, bicameral basis.
So guys, understand this here. Everything in politics is basically reciprocal. So, and what I mean by that here is that the left is going to act a certain way, and then they have been moving, for some reason, a lot further left than they've basically ever been, it feels like, in history, it seems, at least, right? And so the problem with that is that, of course, the right is going to then do slightly the same. Understand this here. So when you're talking about getting something done on a bipartisan basis, that really doesn't make much sense here, because we have now in the United States of America become two polar opposite parties. Like before, there used to be like, okay, center left, center right type of thing here, guys, right? People would kind of decide based off of whatever policies meant things. But nowadays, it's so echo chambered that the left is going to always basically maintain the left. The right is going to also always maintain the right here, because we have moved too far from each other. Okay, like we're no longer like one singular country of Americans. We're one country with like two massive ideology wars happening here, guys. Okay, so I don't know how a bipartisan agreement is going to actually kind of come to fruition in this instance here. But again, I do want to point out one thing here from this video here. It is incredibly important that we do maintain our infrastructure, because it is absolutely in shambles across the country. Okay, you can go through, take a road trip somewhere, bro. Take off the beaten path, let's say this here. Not commonly visited places. You'll start to realize immediately that America is crumbling, bro. Okay, like go to some of these small towns. You'll see what I'm saying here immediately. There needs to be a good amount of money set aside to basically fix some of these issues here. They're incredibly important here. But understand one thing here: when you're being faced with nothing but pure emotion and no bits of facts, and you have the facts on your side here, but yet the other person on the other side does not care about the facts because it goes against their feelings, that becomes pretty hard. It's not even arrogance any longer. It's just like, I don't even care what you think anymore, because because you're not rooting your opinion in anything more than how you feel today, or whatever color you decide to color your hair today. That's not how we run a country, bro. Not at all. But listen, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, guys, I'll go and catch you guys later.